Hello class 10. In my last uploaded video, I have done up to the fourth point of adaptations in plants to reduce excessive transpiration. Now I am starting with number 5, loss of leaves. In some cases, leaves may be dropped or may be absent or changed into spine, as in most cacti. Number 6th adaptation is the thick cuticle. The leaves may be covered by thick cuticle, example banyan and most evergreen trees. So cuticle also can prevent excessive transpiration. Now what are the significance of transpiration? First you see cooling effect. Evaporation reduces temperature of leaf surface. Therefore transpiration is useful to plants on hot sunny days to bring about the cooling effect, because along with the evaporation of water vapor, it is also giving out the excessive heat of the plant body. Next, suction force. Transpiration helps in the ascent of sap. Ascent of sap, I hope you all know. The cell sap, it goes upward from the roots to the stems to the shoots to the leaves. The movement is known as ascent of sap by producing a suction force acting from the top of a plant. Evaporation from the leaves concentrates cell sap and increases their osmotic pressure. This draws water from the cells at the lower levels in a sequential manner and finally favors absorption of water from the soil by the roots, because the suction force is being created. It is instigating the roots to absorb more and more water from the soil. Clear? Next, distribution of water and mineral salts. Since leaves are present at the tips of all branches and twigs, transpiration from their surfaces tends to draw water towards them and thus helps in the distribution of water throughout the plant body. Higher the rate of transpiration, greater the rate of absorption of water and solutes from the soil. So it helps in the even distribution, homogeneous distribution of water and mineral salts. Clear? Because as much as the transpiration will be there, greater will be the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Next, elimination of excess water. Roots continuously absorb a very large quantity of water. Transpiration is an effective method of removing excess water from the plant body, but this elimination of water is neither continuous nor automatic. It is influenced much by weather conditions, chiefly temperature and wind. So the excess water is also very harmful for the plant body. So transpiration is an effective way to remove this excess water. But this elimination is neither continuous nor automatic, because it is influenced by some external factors of weather, like the temperature factor, like the wind velocity. Okay. Now, transpiration affects climate. Okay, one thing students you have to know, see this blue box, transpiration, a price paid for photosynthesis. This question may come in your give reasons question. Several scientists hold the view that transpiration is a price which the plant pays for photosynthesis. As the stomata open for allowing CO2 to diffuse in for photosynthesis, water vapor escapes. This means that transpiration is incidental to photosynthesis. That means transpiration is the price paid for photosynthesis, because for photosynthesis, when the stomatas are opening, it is allowing carbon dioxide to diffuse in for photosynthesis and the water vapor escapes in that, doing so transpiration. Okay, so this thing you have to write in your answer when you get a give reason question from here. Okay. Now, transpiration affects climate. It has been shown experimentally that plants give out large quantities of water during transpiration. A full-grown single sunflower plant is estimated to lose about half a liter of water per day in the form of water vapor. A single maize plant loses about 2 liters of water per day. A large apple tree may lose about 30 liters per day. These figures give an idea of the huge quantities of water released into the atmosphere by vast stretches of fields and particularly forests. Thus, transpiration increases the moisture in the atmosphere and brings rain. Because the main motto is this one: to bring rain, to bring precipitation. And how it will bring? It will bring by the by maximizing the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. In this way, transpiration from plants affects climate. Next, another phenomenon we have to know, that is guttation. Now, some plants may lose water directly, but not as water vapor and in the liquid form. So that they can be doing this in the form of two ways. One is guttation and another is bleeding. The leaves of certain plants exhibit droplets of water along their margins in the morning. This particularly happens in plants growing in warm, humid conditions. A humid environment hampers transpiration while the roots continue to absorb water from the soil. This builds up a big hydrostatic pressure within the plant and forces out the excess water directly from the tips of veins in the leaf. Special pore bearing structures called hydrathodes are present on the margins of the leaf to allow this exudation. Exudation means this coming out of the liquid materials. Guttation can be observed in many plants and is quite common in banana, nasturtium, and strawberry. Now, nasturtium is a scientific name. Whenever you're writing it, start with a capital letter and you have to underline it. Bleeding. This happens only due to injury. The plant sap escapes from the ruptured or cut surfaces of a plant. The root pressure generated by a plant assists in bleeding. Now, I hope you all have seen when you tear up a soft stem of a plant, then you will see some liquid material is coming out, which is a bit, maybe colorless or maybe whitish, thick whitish secretion which is coming out from that injured part which you have torn up. So that is actually the bleeding of the plant, and that occurs because of the excessive root pressure which is generated by the plant. That assists in this particular process of bleeding. Clear? So guttation, for guttation you have to remember the special pore bearing structure hydrathodes from which this excess water, because of the big hydrostatic pressure coming out through the tips of the veins in the leaves, along the tips of the veins of the leaves. Okay, so these two phenomenon you have to know. The last part of this chapter is this two tables. Table differences between evaporation and transpiration, and differences between transpiration and guttation. These are the two tables which are very important from this chapter, because differences do come in your ICSE board paper. So definitely these differences you have to learn. Now, for transpiration and guttation, we also call guttation as exudation. You may get question with exudation also. They have given 8 points. At least 6 points you have to learn. Okay, and for evaporation and transpiration they have given only 3 points. All the 3 points are important. Clear? So these differences are the last part of this chapter which are very important. So go through this table, and again I repeat in each and every uploaded video of mine that if any problem you are facing with the question answers, with the objectives, with your test papers, I hope students you have got the test papers also. If you are facing any problem with any of the questions, you please ask me in the comment box. I will definitely answer it. Okay, and I will solve your problem. So you all are welcome to question me in the comment box regarding any of the chapters which I have taught till now. Okay, so thank you.